பிறகு வரட்டும் பரமசிவன் காலடிக்கு, அதுவரை காத்திரு.
सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमो नमः। भवे भवेनाति भवे भवस्वमा भवोद्भवाय नमः। वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमथनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः। अघोरेभ्यो घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वशर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः। तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात्। ईशानः सर्वविद्यानां सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपति ब्रह्मणोऽधिपति शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो। हिरण्यबाहवे हिरण्यवर्णाय हिरण्यरूपाय हिरण्यपतये अम्बिकापतय उमापतये पशुपतये नमो नमः। सत्यं परं पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गळम् ऊर्ध्वरेखं विरूपाक्षं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः। सर्वो वै रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमोऽस्तु। पुरुषो वै रुद्रस्सन्महो नमो नमः। विश्वं भूतं भुवनं चित्रं बहुधा जातं जायमानं च यत् सर्वोऽखेश रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमोऽस्तु। तद्रुद्राय प्रचेतसे नीरुष्टमाय तव्यसे वोचेन शन्तमहुं हृदे सर्वोऽखेश रुद्रस्तस्मै रुद्राय नमोऽस्तु।
शिव 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 नितिन नायर तथास्तु। राजन गणेशन तथास्तु। गणेश्वरी तथास्तु। गौरी तंगवेल तथास्तु। பிறந்த நாள் நன்னாள் பேரருள் பொழிந்த நாள் ஆகிடும். ஓம்
ಕಾಪಾಡ್ದೋನೆ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಪರಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಸಂಗಡ ಇಟ್ಟವನೆ ಎಕ್ಕಡ ಚಮಡಿ ಹರಿದು ದಮಡಿಗಿಚ್ಕೊಳ್ತವನೆ ಕೋಟಿ ಕೋಟಿ ಸೋನೆ ಬೆನ್ಗೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ದವನೆ ಹೋ ಕತ್ಲೆ ಕತ್ಲೆ ಜೀವನ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಕತ್ಲಾಗೆ ಆಕಾಶನೇ ಕಲ್ಚಿ ತಲೆಮ್ಯಾಗ ಬಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ಮುದ್ದೆ ಹೋಯ್ತೋ ಜೀವನ ಇನ್ನು ಬಾಳ್ಸೋದ್ಯಾಕೆ ಕತ್ಲಾಗಿಡ್ಕೋ ಬೆಳಕಿನಂಗೆ ಹಣ್ಣಂಗ್ ಬಂದು ಕಾಯೋಣವನೇ ಕೈಯಾಗಿಡ್ದು ಮಾರವೇಷ್ಟ ಬಂದವನವನೇ ಕೆತ್ತಿ ಬಂದು ಕಾಪಾಡೋನು ಏಳ್ ಮನೆ ಮಾತಪ್ಪಾನೆ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಸೋನೆ ಸೈಸೋರ್ಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾನ್ ನೋಡು ಹುಡುಕಿ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಪಾಪ ಮಾಡ್ದೋರ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅವನು ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟೆ ಎದ್ದೋ ಬಿದ್ದೋ ಬದುಕು ಬಾಳ್ವೆ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಹಾಳಾಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಾಗೋಯ್ತು ಸಂಸಾರ ಸಿದ್ದೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು ನಂದಿ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ ಜೊತೆಗಿಟ್ಟೆ ತಂಬಾಚಾರ ಬಾಳ್ವೆ ನಂಬಿ ಸೋತೋರ್ನಿಂದು ಸಾಯ ಬಿಡ್ದೆ ಸೋತೆ ಮುಗಿಸಿ ಸಾಕಾಗೋಗಿ ಗೆದ್ದೋರ್ನಿಂದು ಕೈ ಹಿಡಿದವನೆ ಕಾರಣ್ಯನ ಕೈಯಾಗ ಹಿಡಿದು ಕಾಪಾಡೋನು ಮಾತಪ್ಪಾನೆ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ ಕಂಡೆ 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 ಕಂಡೆನ ಕಂಡೆ ಪರಶಿವನ
बरसावे हो, देखो शिव भोले भंडारी भस्म रमावे हो। आई ब्याह रचावन मेला, चाहु दिस आनंद का मेला, आभंगर तन धारी छवि मन को भावे हो।
ஓம் சிவ 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 சிவஜோதி ததாஸ்து. மகளுக்கு வித்யையும் கல்வியும் ஞானமும் உண்டு. ததாஸ்து. மா துர்கானந்தா ததாஸ்து. It'll happen as you asked. நித்ய கிருஷ்ணகதா. முதலில் என் திருவடி நிழலில் வாழும் அளவிற்கு உங்களுக்கு தியாகத்தையும் நேர்மையையும் கடும் ஸ்ரத்தையோடு சேர்ந்த உழைப்பையும் உருவாக்கிக் கொள்ளுங்கள். உங்கள் எல்லோருக்குள்ளும் நேர்மையும் தியாகமும் மலருமானால் உன் பேத்தி என் பேத்தியாவாள். தேவை நடிப்பும் வியப்பும் அல்ல, ஸ்ரத்தையும் பக்தியும் தியாகமும் நேர்மையும். பரமசிவன் பதத்தில் வாழும் அளவிற்கு இன்னும் நேர்மையும் தியாகமும் மலரவில்லை உங்கள் எல்லோருக்குள்ளும். நிரந்தரமாய் நித்தியமாய் நம் திருவடியில் வாழ்ந்திட தேவையான நேர்மையையும் தியாகத்தையும் கடும் உழைப்பையும் உருவாக்கிக் கொள்ளுங்கள். பிறகு அமையும் உன் பேத்தி என் பேத்தியாய் என் திருவடி நிழலில் வாழும் வரம். வரங்கள் மட்டும் பெறுவதனால் வாழ்வில் எல்லாம் இயன்று விடாது. நம் கட்டளையே வரம் என்று புரிந்து கொள்ளும் நேர்மையும் அதற்கு பொறுப்பெடுத்து செயல்படும் தியாகத்தையும் கொண்டு வா. மனத்தை கிள்ளி எறிந்து தியாகத்தை விதைத்து நேர்மையோடு ஸ்ரத்தையும் கடும் உழைப்பும் பொறுப்பும் ஏற்று தத்துவங்கள் நான்கை முறையாக வாழும் வரட்டும். ஓம் சிவ சிவ சிவ.
नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शिवाय च शिवतताय च कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय महादेवाय नमः.
Shiva. Joaquin Joseph. Tatast. You will be healed. Shalini Viswanathan. பரமசிவன் ஒன்றே நிரந்தரமான உயிர் உறவு. அது தவிர்த்து நிரந்தரம் என்றும் பாதுகாப்பென்றும் நீ நினைக்கும் எல்லா உறவுகளும் தானும் அழிந்து உனையும் அழிக்கும் எனும் உண்மை உணர்ந்து பரமசிவன் பதம் மாத்திரம் பற்று. பற்றெல்லாம் விட்டு பரமசிவன் பதம் மாத்திரம் பற்றிடு. நன்மை உண்டாகும். மற்றது எதை பற்றினும் பற்றுக்கோலாய் அது இருக்காது. பாதகமும் பாவமும் பழியும் துக்கமும் மாயையுமே மேல்மேலும் சேரும் எனும் சத்தியத்தை புரிந்துகொள். நித்திய சத்தியங்கள் மாறுவதில்லை. நிஜத்தின் வடிவங்கள் மாறுவதில்லை. சத்தியம் என்றும் சத்தியம். Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. சிவ 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 சிவ. இதயத்தாலும் இணையத்தாலும் உணர்வாலும் உள்ளத்தாலும் முகத்தாலும் முகநூலாலும் கேட்குஞ் செவியாலும் கட்செவியாலும் இருமுனை காணொலி காட்சியுடனாலும் முக்கண் மூலமாயும் இணைந்திருக்கும் எல்லோருக்கும் மங்களம் பொங்கட்டும். சர்வமங்கள பிராப்திரஸ்து. பரமசிவ ஞான பிராப்திரஸ்து. சிவயோக பிராப்திரஸ்து. சிவபோத பிராப்திரஸ்து. சிவஞான பிராப்திரஸ்து. சிவானந்த பிராப்திரஸ்து. சிவ அனுபூதி பிராப்திரஸ்து. சிவ 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 சிவ. ஓம் சிவ 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 சிவ. ஓம் சிவ 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 சிவ. ஓம் சிவ 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 சிவ.
Kailasa vasa isha kala sarpa bhusha mahesha Neetapamula talape gayi vishwamantayu Karunya rupa deepa panchabhuta eka swarupa Neetandava gatule gayi kala chakramu Dakshayani hridayesha dari chupara Nitalaksha nikhilesha neelakantara Shri Ganga pranayesha balaniyara Pranamam Paramesha Shambho Shankara. సారం నీవే విశ్వనాథ దైవాల దైవం నీవుగా లోకాల భారం నీదే దేవదేవా కైవల్య స్థానం నీవుగా ఆనందమూలం నీవే ఆది
under the guidance of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadasham Tattvamasya Lakshya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is power manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself explaining what is power manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you, due to your chemicals and hormones, ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you, out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift. Playing with life. Playing with being alive.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained power manifestation. It is a cognitive shift from what we understand as possibility, and Bhagavan beautifully gives us the conscious sovereignty as the ultimate possibility. We can live as Paramashiva, manifest as Paramashiva in beautiful space of oneness with Paramashiva. It's a science because millions have experienced it, and each one of us can experience it, manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva. It is authentic, time-tested, scientific, and foolproof. The pramanas, the evidences for the science of power manifestation. For each of the power, beautifully all the pramanas are given. Shastra Pramana, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Vedas and the Agamas. Apta Pramana are the experience and the results of Aptas, millions of Rishis, Munis, Kanas, Nainamas, Alvars, Siddhas. All of them are authority of Hinduism who had manifested all the powers of Paramashiva. Not only the Rishis but the Grahastas, the householders, manifesting all the powers of Paramashiva was a possibilities. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. This millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation, Bhagavan's very own Leelas, to showcase how a human can have a cognitive shift and manifest all the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan plays the Leela for each one of us to understand that each one of us should be preparing ourselves to receive the Paramashiva space in all of us. Shakshi Pramana, the experience of the millions of disciple devotees followers all around the world, initiated by Bhagavan into the science of our manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully says, I myself will be in the courtyard, manifesting the powers of Paramashiva in each one of us. Bhagavan is more present than all of us in the courtyard, and each one of us, when we are ready to receive Paramashiva, will manifest all the auspiciousness and abundance as our reality. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study, measuring the effect of being in an enlightened state. Again and again, Bhagavan reminds us that all these are scientifically proven, not just the thoughtless space, but also the powers itself, which are scientifically measured and manifested as even our reality. Bhagavan has beautifully given the Shastra Pramana from Shiva Sutra. Bhagavan has spoken on many sutras and Bhagavad Gitas and Upanishad. But Shiva Sutra, he has not skipped even one. He has spoken on each and every one because each one, he says, is as powerful to create a religion. This is from Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.19, for the power of length dimension. Beautifully, Bhagavan says, Shakti Sandane Sariropatihi. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti, uniting in oneness with the supreme power, the embodiment of that which is cognized and willed, manifests at once its length, breadth, depth, time, and space. Here, beautifully, Bhagavan gives us, by aiming and fixing the self on Shakti, more and more when we are able to understand that we are Paramashiva, the recognition of Paramashiva space in each one of us that we are already experiencing manifest as reality. When we experience the oneness with Paramashiva, that embodiment, that which is cognized, when this becomes a cognition, that Paramashiva is my cognition, then and willed. The first one starts with a will persistence that till I recognize myself as Paramashiva, I am not going to give up and I am going to live every moment as Paramashiva. When we will it, simply the cosmos just gives us a feedback as the intelligent system to make us more understand the higher intelligence. Enlightenment space is more intelligence. Bhagavan says, from the deep sleep, you are more intelligent. You wake up to the dream state. That is the dream enlightenment state. Then you become more intelligent that that is not true. And you wake up to the waking state. Waking enlightenment, he calls it. And from the waking enlightenment state, you are pushed to the awakened enlightenment. All these only either gives us a root shock and wakes us up, or we can surrender to Bhagavan Paramashiva and recognize that space by ourselves. And power manifestation is a recognition of that very space that we are Paramashiva. Like you are watching a TV and you're watching a movie, when it is so beautiful and so enticing and so captivating, you are just watching it continuously. And if the same movie, if you're watching for the 10th time or 11th time, it is no more so actively participating and it is not very nice. So you just want it to be gone and you want to watch something else. And that is exactly how we make tired and bored of the mind when it just gets redundant and irrelevant. It starts focusing on the inner space that you start understanding. Like if there is a black dot on a white board, you are so focused on the black dot and not the whiteboard, which is the more space. In a room, if there are 10 people in a large room, only 10 people becomes the most active interaction for us, not the space of the large room. We are always engaging our thoughts like that. Continuously, we are engaging all the thoughts which are happening and deluding ourselves more and more, entangling into our delusion. When we are ready to drop the thoughts to see that what is the next state that I can experience, without losing anything. Nothing is lost when I wake up from the dream. So nothing is going to be lost if I wake up from this dream to the reality also. When I wake up to the reality, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, I can recognize the higher reality of the space dimension, that Paramashiva dimension, the consciousness, and manifest the powers of Paramashiva. And if the movie, what you're watching, suddenly switches off, you get very annoyed and irritated, and it keeps on going. What happened? What happened? That is how, when you get a root shock, you are shaken, and then you have to let go only by your mere understanding. But without the root shock, without you getting bored, just being in the Jnana Vairagya Bhakti, the Vairagya, that is what preparing ourselves for the Guru to land in each one of us. And Jnana, having the cognition shift that Paramashiva is the only existential reality. We all need to surrender to Paramashiva to experience the higher reality, why we came on planet Earth, and we are here to celebrate Paramashiva, the ultimate space of oneness. By aiming and fixing in the self on Shakti, uniting in the oneness with Paramashiva, we can manifest any of the powers. Here, beautifully, Revati, her father wanted to get her married. He was a king, and he said, Brahma only created, so I will go to Brahma and ask. And he travels like a time travel. He traveled to Satyaloka, and he asked Brahma to who she should get married. But he waited for a few minutes where Brahma was in a concert, and he came out after some time. So Lord Brahma laughs and says, you have already lost the people who you are supposed to be married to. All the people have become grandsons and granddaughter, because they are all now the grandfathers and grandmothers, because all of them have aged so much that you have lived so many yuhas here. And then he says, Balarama will be there, and you can give Renuka to Balarama as his wife. Such a beautiful space that king goes back and gets her married to Balarama after the yuhas has passed. He was able to time travel. He was able to travel to different space. How these kings lived in conscious sovereignty as their reality. That is the greatest science. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, beautifully given how they lived as a highest reality, as their existential reality. They could really travel and experience the time component. Bhagwan beautifully explains here about the objective reality and the end reality, that Bhagwan himself explains in such a beautiful way.
Wall, what this wall does, how it looks, what it is, who built, is it good for me, bad for me? There is no such thing as objective reality, is also true. There is objective reality, is also true. Understand? I tell you, there is no such thing as objective reality, because anything you see, you perceive, does not exist as you perceive. And I tell you, there is objective reality. Well, you know, because you may be liberated from this wall, but the other person who is not liberated will continue to see this wall as objective reality. Because of that, I tell you, objective reality exists. But I tell you, for you, objective reality does not exist. So, the right truth, objective reality does not exist for you, but the objective reality exists for the objects you see in objective reality. But as the objective reality does not exist for you itself, how can the objects you see in the objective reality can be objective reality for you? As the objective reality perceived by you itself is not reality, how can the objective reality perceived by the objects which you perceive in the objective reality can be objective reality for you? Listen to the statement again. As the objective reality which you perceive itself is not an objective reality for you, then how can the objects you perceive in the objective reality can have the objective reality which you perceive as the objective reality, which is not an objective reality? So, what you know as reality is nothing but a perversion of your fantasy. What you know as fantasy is nothing but a perversion of your reality. When you go beyond what you know as reality and fantasy, you see yen reality, which is yen reality. In enlightened reality, there is no space for fantasy, reality, reality-based fantasy, fantasy-based reality. Fantasy-based reality is deities, reality-based fantasy is theme parks. Reality-based reality is enlightened reality, fantasy-based fantasy is your dreams. The reality-based reality awakens in you when you understand neither reality-based fantasies and fantasy-based realities and reality does not lead you to reality. The reality, fantasy, fantasy reality fantasy is all finally your reality fantasy, leading you from fantasy reality to reality fantasy. Finally, only when you drop everything, the reality expresses itself beyond reality.
Beautiful.
Bhagavan beautifully explained how the objective reality is not how we perceive it. And if you drop it completely, surrender to Bhagavan's lotus feet, we raise ourselves into the end reality, Bhagavan's reality, Paramashiva himself, as ourself, as the existential reality. The sun's rays, realize that it is the sun which is giving all the rays, and understanding that beautiful science is power manifestation. Here in the Kailash courtyard, all the Balasans manifested the powers of Paramashiva, and all the Nithyananda participant, and here Balananda, research scientist, she was asking questions, scientific questions to the Balasans, and she's sharing her experiences on how the Balasans replied to her questions.
In our courtyard area where Swamiji was sitting, they were firing out these calculations that were square roots and pi and decimals. And I asked Nandita, what's the distance from the Earth to the moon? And she got it exactly right.
Amazing. All the Balasans, not only they were able to write the answers for SAT questions, GRE questions, and all the competitive exams questions, IIT questions, but they were also like Mensas. She was asking the question and she was giving the page number. After writing the answer, she just wrote the next question also. And the people who are conducting the test were so shocked and taken back how beautifully these Balasans were able to download when they understood they are Paramashiva. They are nothing but a copy of Paramashiva, who has come down as our Guru, as the ultimate reality for each one of us. Now let's start manifesting the powers of length dimension. You can write the questions, or if you have a partner, you can ask the partner to write some questions for you. You can ask questions, the distance between the sun, or some Raman effect which you have no idea. Write some concepts or something which you have no idea. You can write the questions, and you can Google at the end of the session for the answers. Do not Google anything now. Just write the questions whichever you have no idea about, and let Paramashiva in you awaken and recognize that Paramashiva space manifest as reality. When you're doing the power manifestation, don't think, am I getting the result? I want the result today. I'm going to get the result. Nothing. All we need to do is just have the thoughtless space and recognize Paramashiva as your ultimate reality. Whatever happens as a side effect, he will take care and manifest all that which is required. All you need to do is just relax from all the thoughts and experience the oneness with Paramashiva, manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. Now, for few minutes, let's have beautiful meditation after the great Sundareshwara Paramashiva Darshan and all the boons that he showered on all of us. Such a wonderful space. Let's sit straight with the head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Visualize Paramashiva, Parashakti, Sundareshwara in your third eye, and only have his words and his form in your third eye. An absolute unclutching from everything that you know as your identity. You as a father, mother, sister, brother, as a colleague, whatever you know as yourself, drop all that at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Complete completion. When does a complete completion happen? When you know what you are going through is a dream, and when you wake up from the dream, however crazy the dream is, you just complete in few seconds and say, oh, that was a dream, and just walk away from it. Same way, for few minutes, take all that is happening in your life as a dream and sit only as Paramashiva. Sit as 25 heads and 75 eyes and 50 hands, and completely sit as Sundareshwara Paramashiva, entangling with the quantum space that Bhagavan is already in. You can recognize yourself as a mirror and watch the oneness capsule, and merge into the oneness capsule by chanting the Mahavakya. When you chant, the sound, the mantra does not have verbalization, visualization. So it just raises your frequency when you're in deep listening, makes you thoughtless, and connect to Paramashiva's oneness space, manifest as powers. Let's start experiencing oneness with Paramashiva. Sit in that bhava that you are Sundareshwara, watching Bhagavan in the oneness capsule and chanting the Mahavakya intensely from your navel center, and deep listening. The whole key is listening to Paramashiva, that you are chanting. Paramashiva is chanting the Mahavakya. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya. Whatever Bhagavan reveals, just note down the answer. At the end of the cycle, we'll verify the details. Let's start chanting the Mahavakya intensely with a deep listening.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
So beautiful. You can open your eyes and whatever you have seen and written down, please go ahead and Google it or ask your partner to verify authentically. The authentic correction is only because you should not fall into self doubt, self denial, self hatred. The more the authentic rea- correction, we will make more and more ourselves understand, hey, I am Paramashiva. After all, I'm getting all these answers so beautifully correct. Even if you've got like the digits exchanged, that is beautiful. You have started manifesting the powers. When the Balasans started manifesting, first thing they started is with complete surrender and complete clarity that they are manifesting, and whatever came into their mouth they started saying. And after a couple of times when we asked them, they started saying exactly same correct answers. So when you start, you are a little confused of how the answer appeared and you write down. That is okay if the letters are missed or the numbers are switched. All we need to do is start recognizing more and more Paramashiva space, who we are, what we are, and the very core we are. Again and again, Bhagavan is asking us to raise our frequency to capture all that Paramashiva's gift that he has come down for all of us to experience. Bhagavan beautifully says the most intelligent being, that Ganesha himself, who has a long trunk because he has a deep breathing. Whenever you breathe to the navel center, take a deep breath. Bhagavan says that's the best pranayama, and you will have more intelligence doing this simple exercise. More and more you have deep breathing, you start recognizing the higher intelligence space. That is why Ganesha is full of completion and full of long breath, which is represented by his big tummy, that he's breathing through his tummy. If you see babies, they will be breathing from their tummy. They won't be breathing from just shallow, because that's the reason they don't have thoughts and they are simply so blissful. The more the thoughts, because the more engaged we are in the worldly life, the outer world, the more you start surrendering everything to Bhagwan's lotus feet and interested more into the conscious sovereignty, you will raise yourself into the ultimate space of oneness, who you are, the Paramashiva space, the Sundareshwara Paramashiva in all of us, continuously residing in us and manifesting all this, even what we are seeing and what we are speaking, what we are talking, or whatever we are conversing with other people, walking, whatever we are doing is because Paramashiva is manifesting in us. Let's recognize that Paramashiva more and more manifesting these powers, and more have doubt about the mind, which constantly takes our past and present as though it is really required. When we start looking in, the mind also merges and become in the oneness with Paramashiva. So let's start the second cycle for a few more minutes with the deep chanting and deep listening of the Mahavakya. That is the whole key, and entangle with Bhagavan, completely merge into Bhagavan. Again and again, whichever Ishtadevata you can bring and you can merge into, hold that in your third eye and sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Put away your gadgets. Just say lockdown for everything except my appointment with Paramashiva. Now, only Sundareshwara Paramashiva in my reality. Other than that, I don't have anything to ask for. Just surrender yourself for few minutes and see what happens in your life. How much of auspiciousness and abundance raise, because even the glimpse of these great truth becomes our reality. So let's start chanting the Mahavakya intensely with a deep listening for a few more minutes, manifesting the power of length dimension. You can write the questions and whatever answer appears, let it appear. Doesn't appear, it doesn't appear. Do not bother about that. Be only recognition of Paramashiva in you. That is the very core who you exist as. Hold that Sundareshwara in your third eye and continuously chant the Mahavakya.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham, Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us.
Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham.
Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Paramashivoham,
Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
Now slowly open your eyes, and whatever you have received as prasada from Bhagwan, when you are in such a beautiful space, go ahead and share all these details after verifying in tinyurl.com/powermanifestation, thanking Bhagwan for all that he's showering on all of us, continuously holding us and showering all these great boons for each one of us to raise into the superconscious space. And whatever you have manifested, recognized as powerful cognition, power manifestation, and how this power manifestation is also reflecting in your life, even the darshans, even the powerful cognition that Bhagavan has given, all that, how is it reflecting in your life? Please go ahead and share. Enriching and causing is the easiest way to manifest your reality. If you make 10 people understand they are Paramashiva, you will recognize your Paramashiva because they are a reflection of just you. So more you share and more you enrich others, you start becoming that very space. Whatever we cherish, that is what we manifest as reality. Bhagavan says, whatever you eat, that is what you birth. So that is what we experience as oneness with Paramashiva. So thank Bhagavan for all the great truths that he had showered on all of us. And if you see a $sign, you can offer to Kailasa. All these great possibilities is possible for all of us to experience because of all your donation. Thank you so much for whoever has donated today to Kailasa. All this is your support, which Kailasa is giving back and dimension back to you and showering on you whenever you contribute to Kailasa. And let's, with a deep gratitude and humble space and deep yearning for Paramashiva to become reality, and thanking all of you here who are here manifesting the powers of Paramashiva all over the world, holding that collective integrity, such a beautiful space of manifesting Paramashiva in each one of us. That is the most beautiful space, collective positivity that we are creating, that Bhagwan is helping us to create that reality. So, with the deep gratitude, let's end the session with the Purna Mantra. ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमुदश्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओं तत्सत् सर्वं भगवते श्रीनित्यानन्द परमशिवं पादुकार्पणमस्तु ॐ Nithyanandam. Thank you so much and see you at 6 p.m. in the Zoom session. You can log in through Kailasa and for more manifesting power sessions. Thank you, Nithyanandam.